Now, you may not even realize it, but your life has been shaped by frequencies. And we really don't notice. Like, if you think about music and how that affects you, sometimes it makes you happy, sometimes it makes you sad, or make you energized or calm. Music works because it's made up of frequencies. Those frequencies influence your brain and your body in ways that you can't really detect. But it goes a lot deeper because it's not just music. There's countless other frequencies that control how you think, how you feel, how you act. They're shaping and controlling your finances, how much money you make, your health, your relationships, even your marriage. These frequencies are hidden, and they determine things like whether you're in debt, whether you're thriving, whether you attract your soulmate, whether you struggle to find love your entire life. So I want to show you how you've actually been programmed by these hidden frequencies, and more importantly, how you can reprogram yourself to gain control over your life and your future. So my name is Jake with jakeducey.com, and let's dive right into this. Now, before I dive into big idea number one, if you haven't yet, I just want to invite you to get my free Success Hypnosis MP3. You're going to learn exactly how there are hidden frequencies that are keeping you from getting the money you want, the love you want, whatever it is you're trying to attract into your life. The thing that's stopping is hidden frequencies. Well, you can actually reprogram your subconscious mind for new frequencies so that you can start to attract the things that you want in your life instead of blocking them. And I have a free Success Hypnosis. About 1 million people from all over the world have used it. It's jakeshypnosis.com. You can click right here to get that, jakeshypnosis.com, where it's pinned to the comments and in the description right there down below. You only got to listen to it for a minute, 2, 3 a day, whatever you got, whether it's right before you go to bed or you wake up in the morning. And the cool thing is, it will reprogram your mind so you start to attract things into your life without having to exert effort to bring them into your life. So check that out for free. First things first, the programming we don't see, right? We really don't see it. And that's because you're not who you think you are. Like the movie The Matrix, it's not science fiction. It's actually more of a real life documentary or biography about how our lives are shaped from birth by unseen forces. But in reality, it's frequencies. So if you imagine your brain as like an iPhone or a computer, and it stores everything that you know while you are just seeing a little display of your consciousness that projects onto the screen. There's a whole bunch of other things happening unconsciously. Like from the moment we're born, we basically start absorbing beliefs and ideas. Like for the most part, they're from the parents and the adults around us, whoever raised us, things that they thought was true and things that they were taught from their parents. And that moves all the way down. And by the time we're 7 years old, 95% of our life is just subconscious ingrained behaviors and patterns and beliefs that we've learned all the way from our environment, and then how that shapes our entire perception of the world. So even as a baby, you start absorbing information. In the womb, they've even done studies on it. And then by the time we're 4 years old, we're in school, right? And we're following rules and the bell rings and we're being told what's right and wrong, when to speak, what to believe. And these rules basically start to shape our entire reality, all these little frequencies, and we don't even know. And then during those early years, your brain is operating in a low brainwave frequency. It's called theta. So the electromagnetic waves of your brain are in a lower state. It's like the imagination and learning, and that's why kids can, take like a rock and pretend it's a fairy. My daughters are really into fairies right now. But theta is more than just your imagination. It is essentially a hypnotic state. So you're absorbing everything. Your mind is like a sponge or an empty cup, and everything just goes right into the cup up until you're pretty much 7, 8, 9, 10 years old. So one of the ways that this all works is from repetition. So since we're babies, we're getting repeated the same messages over and over and over again. It might be about money beliefs you learned, confidence, feelings of insecurity, lack of self-worth, whatever it is. Your brain is in a hypnotic state during this early period of your life. And then simply by like being a little kid, you're absorbing all of this and installing those frequencies. And then that controls your perception, how you see the world. That controls what you believe as an adult, what you accept, what you challenge, and then ultimately what you create into your life as an adult is controlled by those hidden frequencies when you were younger. And it's like people are wondering, why can't I break through financially? Why can't I attract my soulmate? Well, it's because of those frequencies when you were younger. And once you control your own perception, you can break free. Now, we reach adulthood, 95% of our entire lives is governed by these subconscious programs. Like, only 5% of our entire life, approximately, according to neuroscientists, according to psychologists, only 5% of it is conscious. And that's why people say, give me a child until they're 7, I'll show you the adult. Because that early stage sets the trajectory for your entire life. And it's crazy because once you know this, you also have the key to change your entire future. So if you're with me so far, before we move on to number 2, and then I show you how to break out of this, what I invite you to do is just think of some of those specific frequencies for you and how they were installed to you, whether it was around money, in a negative relationship around money, or around love. Think of some of those things. And that's why it's so important to reprogram your subconscious. So if you haven't yet, be sure to get my free success hypnosis. It's jakeshypnosis.com. Like 1 million people from all over the world have used it. You can get it for free. It's linked as the top comment right there down below, or it's in the description of this video as well. It's jakeshypnosis.com. And comment down below, I control my reality. You control it once you understand these frequencies. So let's move on to number 2. All right, number 2 is the power of these frequencies. Now, we've kind of established now we've been programmed by frequencies our entire life. We don't really even know that it's happening. Like, think about the way the news makes you feel, right? It makes you feel stressed, it makes you feel anxious, it makes you feel angry. The words, the images, the stories on the news, they have specific frequencies. And those frequencies affect you like instantaneously. And similarly, music works the same way, but hopefully more positively, and it influences your mood in a more positive way, because music is made up of frequencies as well, and those affect your brain and your body and your nervous system. So everything in life is made up of frequencies. But the really important thing to understand, these frequencies, they ultimately control the state of vibration of your body or your entire nervous system more specifically. And then your brain is processing all of these frequencies as electrical signals, right? So for example, you hear the music, your brain decodes those frequencies. And then just as it decodes like all of these invisible signals in the air around you, the same thing's happening with things other than music. And that's when it gets kind of insidious, because there's negative energy that can be controlling our life and we don't even know that it's actually happening. Now, the crazy thing is you can actually target frequencies into other people's brain to control them negatively. It's kind of dark, we won't really go into it that much, but there's a lot of studies on like you can program frequencies to make people sleep or make people do certain behaviors totally unconscious. They don't even realize they're doing it. So, end of the day, the world around us and the environment that you're in isn't always programming you positively. It's not always there to help you. And once you realize that, then you can brainwash yourself before the world brainwashes you. Now, that brings us to number 3, really dissect and become aware of the negative frequencies that are around us. So, using the music example again, when you listen to music, you're tuning into certain frequencies, right? So, just like a radio, if you're too far away from the specific station in your car, the sound starts to get distorted. And the same thing happens with the frequencies that ultimately control the electrical signals of your brain and control the energy that is programmed into your subconscious mind, and then that controls what you attract back into your life. Now, the school, the news, the social media, the parents, the movies, all of this stuff is installing frequencies that control our entire existence. And the problem is that most of this stuff is similar to like listening to distorted frequencies for so long and hearing a bunch of static, so we don't even realize and understand what pure frequency sound of music would be like, metaphorically speaking. In the same exact manner, there is like a harmonious frequency that you can program your subconscious mind to that can bring money into your life, love into your life, help you attract the things that you desire into your life, instead of living out of the frequencies that were accidentally programmed into you, either by well-meaning people who projected their own crap onto you, or by institutions and corporations and more, sketchy actors that have been attempting to manipulate humanity through frequencies, embedding frequencies into music and movies and social media and television by broadcasting some less than ideal frequencies. They can influence how society thinks and feels without, the masses even realizing it, right? Like, they can make people feel anxious or angry for no apparent reason. And then all it takes is a triggering event, like a news story or a big public thing that happens. And then that could set off a bunch of built up emotion that was just frequency programmed into people, and it leads to unrest or whatever else it is. That can all be done by understanding frequency. And I don't really want to go into being the bearer of bad news, but it's important to understand that there's a lot of sketchy energy that can get put into your cup. Think about it just like this. It's just a cup where our brains and our minds are a cup that was totally empty. We never put a lid on it, so all this other stuff got into it. It's exactly like having a guitar that's out of tune. And so the notes don't sound good, right? So to speak, you're not in tune with your desire. You're not in tune with the money you want. You're not in tune with the love you want. You're not in tune with the health you want, because you are an instrument. Like a guitar is, you're a vibrational instrument, but it's been out of tune. Most importantly, I'm going to show you how you can actually retune it. But just to really understand, how this whole thing operates, you've got the specific frequencies, and then you have subliminal messaging. So advertisers have known this for forever too. So we're also up against all these years of subliminal programming. They've done studies where they found that if you take people in a grocery store and you play French music softly in that grocery store, more people are going to buy wine. Think of that as frequency programming. Then you think about more things like MK Ultra, which was all about taking control of people's minds and getting them to commit crimes and do all this crazy stuff that they didn't even know that they were doing, because they were unconscious, because their brains got hijacked by really powerful frequencies and they were totally unconscious. So there is a lot of energy that we don't really want. Then if you just put that kind of darker stuff aside, and you just look at everyday life, 9 out of 10 people die with less than $10,000 and virtually no financial assets. Like 75% of people are living paycheck to paycheck. Most people never make any significant money. They never retire in a reasonable time or early. 50+% of people are divorced. So you've got financially, the majority of people's energy is programmed negatively. Then you go look at like 50-something% of people of marriages end in divorce. So then you have half the people whose programs or frequencies are negative with respect to love as well. Then you look at the huge racket of the healthcare industry, and you look at how many people are living their whole lives with multiple comorbidities. So you have a huge epidemic of not only America, where I live, the entire world that is unhealthy. So then you have the average person's frequency with respect to health is programmed negatively as well. So you go down any of your desires, whether you want more money, more success, you want more romance, you want more love, you want more confidence, you want more health, anything you desire in life. If you could wave a magic wand and get anything that you want, whatever it is that you want, the majority of people, the majority of society don't have what they want. So the majority of society is a negative frequency influence or program that, especially in your younger years when you're in a theta brainwave state, has unconsciously influenced you in some respect. In addition to that, a lot of people had really not good parents or really not good influence. So maybe they have just some like staunch, really bad programming or abuse or things that nobody should have to deal with, but you had to deal with it. And it's brought you here to this moment. And so you've been able to get to this point where now you can free yourself from it, because you become aware that you're just like a guitar, you can retune your frequency. So once you understand all of that, and really once I understood all that for myself, and by the way, if you're with me right now, hit the like button on this video. Give me a comment down below that says, I'm with you, Jake. I'm with you, Jake. I'm with you, Jake, in the comments down below. Now, once I understood all of this, now I was a college dropout and I wanted to become an author. Like, think about, what do you want? Bob Proctor used to always say, what do you really want? Not what do you think you can get? What do you really want? So what I really wanted is I wanted to be like a millionaire author and do all this stuff. But I was a college dropout. I didn't think I was good enough, smart enough, all this stuff. That was frequency. That's an emotional level to which I was programmed that made me feel like I couldn't make my dreams a reality. I wasn't good enough. So my frequency programming was down here, but my desire frequency was up here. So it wasn't a match. There was no congruence. So what I needed to do was reprogram my subconscious mind. Your subconscious controls 95% of your life, and it's your emotional mind. It's your frequency mind. That's where all the emotions and programs and frequencies go. And then that sets up the vibratory rate of your energy field. That controls your perception, your behavior, your emotions, ultimately every result in your life, down to what's in your bank account, how much money you made, what your relationships and romance and dating is like. All of it is controlled by that. So what I started to do was specifically put new programming into my brain and my subconscious. Now, what I did is I made a success hypnosis for myself, and I started programming myself that just told myself all day long that I'm a millionaire author, I'm all these things. And then I would slowly start to feel these things even though they weren't happening. I'd start to get excited sometimes while I'd be listening to this, and while I'd be brainwashing myself, while I'd be, putting new things into my cup, so to speak. Like, anything could be in your cup. It could be full of gasoline, or it could be full of pristine spring water. Now, the first step is awareness. You become aware of the unconscious, which is what we talked about so far. Then, when you're doing that, you pour out all the crap of the cup and then you refill it. Refilling it is putting the energy or the frequency of the emotions that match your conscious desires into your subconscious mind, erasing what you've been taught so you can break free from that programming and you can control your own energy field, which controls your subconscious, which ultimately turns you into a magnet for what you want instead of what you don't want. So if you haven't yet, you can get my free success hypnosis. It's jakeducey.com. You can click right there to get it, or it's pinned as the top comment right there down below, and it's in the description of this video as well. It's free to use. It's jakeshypnosis.com. Now, what I invite you to do is spend like 2 to 5 minutes a day. It doesn't need to be crazy, where you start to put a new frequency into your subconscious. When you start to do this, there's a couple important things. First things first, you want to reject any programming you become aware of that is coming at you that doesn't match your new desire. So now that you have this newfound awareness, when someone's negative energy comes along, or something that you saw on social media, something somebody posted and complained about, something that happened in the news, whatever it is, when that energy comes at you, consciously reject it. If you don't consciously reject it, in essence, you're not putting a top on your cup, which means that energy can get into you. And so what I like to say is, thank you, but that's not part of my belief system. Thank you, but that's not part of my belief system. You can comment that down below. Thank you. That's not part of my belief system. Thank you. That's not part of my belief system. Comment that down below and make it a mantra so it starts to get registered in your head through repetition. You're building a new mental model instead of the one that was programmed into you in your early years. Now, you can say this to yourself just as a reminder, like a mantra, when you see negative energy. Or if you have someone in your immediate environment that is that negative programming, you can say that in a respectful way. Thank you, but that's not part of my belief system anymore. Now, after that, what I invite you to do is to dial your new frequency every single morning. Think about it as setting your frequency just like you're turning the radio knob to the specific station that you want to listen to. You get the frequency right, and then you can listen to the music you want. In like manner, what I invite you to do is every morning, set your frequency. Before you get on your phone, before you check the news, before you talk to a friend, before you get in the car, before anything happens, even if you only have a couple minutes, like you might have kids, a busy life. I got a couple kids as well. You might only have a couple minutes, or you might have to set a specific time after a couple things occur. What I invite you to do is just make a list of the things that you're grateful for that haven't happened yet. So this is where your desire and knowing what it is that you want come into play. For example, you might write out maybe your number one desire is you want to attract your soulmate. Or maybe your number one desire is health, or maybe your number one desire is a new job or money or to sell your house. So I would write about specifically being grateful in the present tense. I am so grateful that I am lovable and I'm attracting amazing relationships. I'm so grateful I just got back from an amazing dinner with my husband or wife. It hasn't happened yet, but you are stepping into your imagination enough. What you're doing is you are dialing the frequency. The frequency of your desire of your soulmate already exists, but you have to embody that frequency first and install it as your new operating system, or tune the guitar to that frequency, so to speak. So it may feel weird or silly to write about how you're grateful you just went on a nice date at an Italian restaurant with your husband or wife, because you don't know them and you haven't met them yet and your mind wants to stop you. Remind yourself, that's the old programming. Thank you, but that's not part of my belief system anymore. So what I want you to do is I want you to write out what you're grateful for with respect to your desire. So it'd be the same for health. Maybe you write about how you just had a great workout for an hour, even though maybe you didn't yet and you just woke up. Or maybe you write about how you just hit your new record running the mile, or you did 15,000 steps today while you were listening to awesome audiobooks. You may not have done it yet, but write about how you're grateful for it. Same thing with money. Write about how you just closed a new sale. You're a real estate agent and you just closed a new sale. Write about how you just got $1,000 unexpected dollars. Write about how you just got a new job. You just got new clients. Your YouTube video just went viral. You just sold 7 extra tickets to your music concert or your event. Whatever it is, even though it hasn't happened, write it in the present tense as if you're just journaling. Like, dear diary, these great things happened to me today. They haven't happened yet in this reality, but they are real. And by being grateful for them, you practice the emotion of your desire. In essence, you are tuning your musical instrument, which is your brain, to a new frequency or a new note. And that note is your desire manifested. This reprograms your subconscious and it starts to shift your life. So if you enjoy this video, comment down below. I create my reality. Make sure you get my free success hypnosis. It's jakeshypnosis.com. It's my free success hypnosis to reprogram your subconscious mind and do exactly that. This is very important because this video is just information, right? But to really change it, you have to install the new programming. And that's why the success hypnosis is so important. So make sure you get it. It's jakeshypnosis.com. It's free to use. It's pinned to the comments and in the description right there down below. Just try to set aside a couple minutes a day. Maybe it's right before you go to bed. Maybe you don't have any time. So what you can do, and what I really like to do, is I have a little, I don't know, $50 waterproof Bluetooth speaker. And when I take a shower, I turn on my success hypnosis. And while I'm showering, I have this waterproof speaker in my shower. It's an important time, think about it, because you space out while you're in the shower, which means you could resort to the old programming. I could start worrying about this problem and this bill and this thing and this soulmate and this health. And that's what most people do. And so you may not have a conscious time to sit and meditate. Instead, it could just be while you're in the shower, while you're cutting carrots into little pieces, or maybe you have some kids. Turn it on with your kids and start teaching them a little bit about this stuff. Like it is fun to try to teach, like especially really little kids about it. So it could be in the shower before bed when you wake up. Give my success hypnosis, just let it play, and while you let it play, start practicing the excitement and the gratitude that you're making this big shift. You're releasing all these old programming and crap that we've inherited, and we're just letting it go. We're just saying thank you for it. We're freeing ourselves of it. We're blessing the people that installed it into us. Most likely it wasn't malicious. It was on accident with their own issues they didn't resolve, and it got projected onto us. We love them. We bless them. We're thankful that we've carried this programming, but now we're ready to release it, and we're ready to tune our musical instrument correctly to the tune of our desires and being in harmonious frequency with wealth, with love, with freedom, with joy, with all the things that you desire. So I hope you have a great day. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, watch this video again. Plug it into your TV, listen to it with your friend, or if you don't have time to watch it, just listen to it while you're in the car or at the gym, because this is information that's very important. And for a lot of us, I know for me, it was new information. I'd never heard this in my life before I came across it originally. So it was important for me to listen to it numerous times so that I really grasped it, not just purely on an intellectual level, but on like a certainty in knowing this is true. That helps you install this new frequency quicker, which will shift your bank account, your love life, your health, whatever it is that you desire. So wishing you a beautiful day. If you enjoy this video, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, bell notification. Give me a comment down below if you enjoy it, and I'll see you on the next one.